Okay, very good. Thank you, Senator Duckworth, and thanks for holding this hearing today. Following two tragic air crashes of the Boeing 737 MAX 8, taking 346 lives, including a Minnesotan, we worked to pass the Aircraft Safety and Certification Reform Act of 2020. As you know, Mr. Inman, the bill incorporated critical aviation safety reforms, including requiring the FAA to implement several NTSB recommendations. Could you talk about how the NTSB work with the FAA can make sure that these other important safety recommendations are being implemented expeditiously?
Well, thank you for the question. It's a wonderful opportunity to be able to actually highlight some of that experience in the past. By understanding and being at DOT for 4 years, you get a totally different view of how regulations and funding and appropriations occur from the Secretary's office. So I hope by being a board member, I can bring some of that understanding of the process to be able to advocate and to fully implement more of the recommendations, just by understanding not only the people, but the process. Sometimes you've got to be inside to understand what it's like to do the work from the outside.
Right. And I just passed a bill with Senator Moran. Representative Stauber was leading it in the House on moving forward on our air traffic control modernization. But while that is going on, the NTSB is investigating an alarming number of near collisions on our runways. From your perspective, is it important to ensure that pilots are equipped with technology, that planes are equipped with technology that will prevent runway incursions? Could you elaborate on that?
Yes, ma'am. I think we may have lost our feed. Okay. Yes, absolutely. We're seeing one of the issues that actually came out of the MAX was the number of alarms and systems and human factors that come into play and how you manage those and how do you, the protocols that are typically written into the pilot's manuals. But I do believe that there is an opportunity for even more use of basically technology. The surface detection systems are a great example. I know in the last month and a half, there was an additional $25 million that I believe was announced to increase the use of that technology. And again, every layer that we can put in the safety system to hopefully catch one of those other instances will make it a more resilient system.
Mm-hmm. Switching to the ground from the air, a study published earlier this year by NHTSA found that distraction was a factor in 29% of all motor vehicle crashes in 2019. And I think you know how important it is to eliminate and reduce distracted driving. Last Congress, I passed a bill as part of the bipartisan infrastructure law to create a grant program for NHTSA to encourage states to implement laws banning non-navigational mobile device viewing while driving. Could you talk about, if confirmed, how you will prioritize reducing the number of accidents caused by distracted driving?
Well, thank you for the question. I think it's important, especially as we look at this significant increase and uptick. I know that several of the board members, in fact, every one of them, whenever I met with them prior to this hearing, raised that specific issue in regard to highway deaths and how distracted driving is increasing. I think there are a lot of opportunities to use not only technology. I know the Alliance for Automotive Innovation has actually held a summit and a showcase about a month and a half ago that many of us went to be able to see these technologies. It's a rapidly changing world, and I think the opportunity to seize on these new and upcoming areas of safety can be helpful not only for older drivers, but as we see, it has a great reduction in younger drivers in their crash and accident numbers.
Thanks. And then last, we all know that we've had issues with train derailments. There was one in my state in Raymond, Minnesota, and it was a derailment that had a much better outcome than what happened in Ohio. But one of the things that they had in common was that in both instances, the NTSB investigators were some of the first on the scene. How can Congress support the NTSB in determining the causes of accidents and recommending safety improvements